My name is Alexander Schneider. I work as a web developer at a contracting firm in Los Angeles. I was born deaf, and I was very fortunate that both my parents were doctors, and they kind of had a good idea of how to handle someone that it wasn't quite, I don't want to say not quite normal, but not quite there yet. And thankfully my mom was able to figure it out, that I had an issue only a few hours after I was born, and I was fitted with hearing aids less than 2 months after I was born, which is very, very early. One of their big things was they wanted me to be able to live in a normal world. They didn't want me to have a lot of have an interpreter follow me around everywhere to translate for me. I was at a local elementary school. We didn't go to a school for the deaf or anything like that. I've got to say it was a little bit alienating because I think that for me, I wasn't really able to. I wasn't really able to connect with them socially. Like they say, "Oh, hey Alexander, how are you?" And I wouldn't hear that, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, he's blowing me off now," which I wasn't. I just couldn't hear them. So even though it's not that visible physically, I think it still kind of set me apart from everybody else. And towards the end of my elementary school time, I found out that the kids, for some inexplicable reason, just wanted someone to pick on. And I guess at first I must have been an easy target because I never talked back. I never even heard or understood what they were doing. So I just kind of let them do it. We'd be playing dodgeball or handball, and somehow the game always worked so that I would have to be the one that was standing out in front and getting pelted with all the balls. And I just thought that I was just trying to be cool and trying to be in there with the gang. And they were just throwing all these balls at me. That was certainly not a fun time. The hardest part for me was that I felt like it was all my fault. That I was doing something wrong, and there was something wrong with me. And I always knew that I was different from everybody else, and I thought that, well, this is not normal. It must be wrong. So I always blame myself for being deaf or for being hard of hearing. I think that slowed down a lot of the intervention from my parents, which in recent years they told me that they really wish they would have known what was happening sooner. But I didn't want to get in trouble, and I was so certain it was my fault. For a long time I wanted revenge, but I realized that it wasn't healthy for me to be all caught up on that, and that my life, later on in my life I realized that it wasn't my fault at all. I was kind of able to really channel that anger, and I hope I turned it into something positive. I am a junior at my university right now, and I also work as a TA in the computer science department. I'm also a student of computer science. I'm hopefully going to graduate in 2016, so I'm getting close. I always wonder what would happen if I were in those shoes, and I know that I would want the person on the other side to forgive me. Being able to realize how hard it is to overcome challenges. I think that it's really made me a better person. Not to brag or anything, but it's really made me who I am. I'm Alexander, and I'm a HateBraker.